Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about a variety of topics, but this first topic, Tesla US sales are down 38 units, not 38%, 38,000 units for quarter one and quarter two. So that could potentially mean that a lot of different discounts and incentives on top of what is already happening at the moment, because inventory is starting to keep going higher and higher. So we're going to talk about it plus a variety of topics. But before we do that, let's roll that intro really quick. All right, so thanks for watching another stream. Thanks for watching another video. My name is Dennis, and I love talking about Tesla deal hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested, and definitely check out my Patreon link down below in the description where you can support the channel and get access to the ultimate Tesla buying guide out there. And today's live stream is partnered with Mint Mobile, where you can save money on your mobile phone plan, but more on that later, or as low as $15 a month. So shout out to Troy Tesla. They posted this. They took an analysis of all their different units for sale, or all the different units that Tesla has delivered in quarter one and quarter two of this year, and compared it against quarter one and quarter two of last year. But the biggest thing here is this, that the Cybertruck didn't necessarily exist last year. So we can take a look at this chart. We can see, so the first box area right here, quarter one and quarter two deliveries for 2023, and the US only 328,314 units that were sold through quarter one and quarter two for Model 3, Model Y, and also Model S and Model X. Taking a look at Tesla deliveries quarter one and quarter two of this year, 2024, you can see there is about a 38,000 unit drop from 328,000 down to 290,553, or about 11% drop year over year. And what's even scarier with this, or maybe, of course, we're just talking about Tesla deals on this channel, but we can see that Cybertruck units filled up a 14,000 units into there, and Model 3 was actually down about 50,000 units from last year. So maybe Model 3 Highland is supposed to fill in this gap here, or maybe Model 3 Highland hasn't been able to fill in this gap here, because the biggest difference between last year and this year is, of course, last year the Model 3 did qualify for the $7,500 federal tax credit, even though it was not a point of sale, and the Model 3 Highland just made qualifications for the point of sale tax credit at $7,500. But of course, maybe it's taking a little bit of an effect to get out to certain people so that they realize what is actually going on, that they can get that $7,500 federal tax credit. But still cool to see that Model Y is pretty much the same. We can see last year for quarter one and quarter two, they sold 199,000 units. And this year they sold 195,278 units. So not that much of a drop at all. So really, of course, they could try and incentivize it, but it looks to be on pace for selling about the same amount of Model Y units throughout the rest of this year. So it is pretty interesting to see that inventory is increasing for the Model Y. And maybe a lot of those units were to sell because of the 0.99, but even though the 0.99, yeah, it was last quarter, right? So it seems like they were able to get that done and try and push units through the end of that second quarter. And so now that inventory keeps increasing and increasing, I definitely feel like there's going to be a lot more deals that are going to be rolling out. And I definitely feel like it's going to be rolling out at the end of this month or even next month, once the current promotion of the 3 years of free supercharging comes off of the table, because here are all the different incentives that are currently out there in case you missed it, in case you need another refresher. There's 3 months of free supercharging, which is valued at about $500 to $600. I do expect this to end on August 15th, and then probably Tesla's going to take a week or so to basically sweeten this deal a lot more. I think we could see maybe 10,000, 15,000 miles of free free supercharger, maybe even supercharging, or maybe even 1 to 2 years of free supercharging in Q4. I definitely do feel like they could bring down the 0.99% financing for both the Model 3 and the Model Y. And I think they're going to do a lot more of these bundle packages that we saw that we're seeing right now with the Model S and Model X, depending on the take rate. If it certainly sees a lot of people taking that Model S and Model X $5,000 bundle, then maybe we'll start to see more people trying to take that. And maybe we'll see Tesla roll that out onto the Model 3 or Model Y. But let us know, would you take like a 3-year free supercharging, free full self-driving, free premium connectivity bundle for a Model 3 or Model Y? And second question, would you pay $5,000 for it? Would that be worth it? I do feel like it could be more worth it for a Model 3 or Model Y buyer, because there's certain subsets of people that use their vehicle for work, maybe for Uber, and that's where you'll really see the most maximum value of that, because then you'll be able to really maximize that supercharging. Model S and Model X is kind of a weird one that they've put it on. Of course, I feel like if you're buying a Model S or Model X, you will also be able to get a home charger, and that just makes the most sense. Even if you have free supercharging, it is not worth your time to go out and save the money and supercharge instead of that. So I do feel like there's going to be bigger incentives, but let me know, what do you want to see in the next few months as we go to the end of the Q4? I'm certainly probably going to make a video where I just put my predictions on a spreadsheet and we go through all of them to see which ones are going to be happening in the Q4 of this year, because that is going to always be the best time to buy a Tesla, in the Q4 of this year. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it. Let me know what you're thinking. We're going to jump into the live stream comments, but another post that I found that was kind of semi-interesting. Shout out to Yaman at Value Analyst. He posted this. It seems like in the Tesla used space, the pricing is kind of interesting. They've got Model Ys at $26,000 and they've got Model 3s, used ones, starting at $27,000. So from this surface level, it does look like Model Ys used ones are cheaper than a used Model 3. But of course, taking a look into a little bit more, the Model Y is a 2021 and the Model 3 is a 2019. So about a 2-year difference between the both of them. So of course, there's going to be some price difference between the both of them and of the Model 3. Or actually, no, why is the 2021 Model Y cheaper than the Model 3? That actually makes no sense at all. It should be the Model 3 should be cheaper. So I guess it is kind of a weird one that why they would do that. So pricing for Tesla is a very weird one for sure, unless they already know that Model Ys are really losing a lot of demand. They might as well just drop this one under $25,000 so you can get that $4,000 used EV tax credit as well. So that could really try and push a bunch of these sales to get them out of here. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it. Let me know what you're thinking. We're going to jump into the live stream comments, but thanks for jumping in, everybody. Thanks for supporting. Before we get into our next topic, I've been trying to save money lately, and that's why we talk about this channel, trying to get the best deal on a Tesla. And I've been looking at our subscriptions like YouTube Premium, Netflix, trying to figure out how I could save some money every single month. And cutting expenses, it's kind of hard. We've been trying to rack our brain together and figure out how. That's why I'm so intrigued with our channel partner, Mint Mobile. They offer premium wireless starting at $15 a month. And I can get high-speed data and unlimited talk and text on the nation's largest 5G network, and I can even bring my own phone along with my current number and existing contracts. I'm sacrificing nothing. I've used Mint Mobile a ton, and I switched my second line to Mint Mobile, and I've been using it to watch YouTube and play podcasts on our daily commute and haven't noticed any drop in speed. And I can't tell the difference. So how hard is it to switch service? Big Wireless wants you to think it's actually hard, but it's not at all. Switching to Mint is super easy thanks to digital eSIM cards, which most of you now have. You can sign up and activate immediately right on your phone from the comfort of your home. If your phone doesn't have an eSIM, Mint will ship you a new SIM card for free. So if you want to save little money without the sacrifice, go to trymintmobile.com/DennisCW, also linked down below in the description, to get premium wireless for just $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. Thank you to Mint for partnering, and let's get on to the next topic. Thanks for that, everyone. Rajosh, thanks for coming in. Bill, Farrakhan, Sam, Patrick, and it's Junior Bro. Thank you for dropping by. Bill, I'm waiting for the Juniper refresh to replace my Model 3. I'd be willing to consider a current gen Model Y if they just added ventilated seats. Yeah, it's a big one, and the more hotter it gets out here, for sure, I see what you're saying, and that could be a cool refresh that they add to try in, or maybe they do a retrofit kit, because I feel like a lot of people would love that. For Cohen, what would you consider a Model Y killer, like a comparable car from a different brand? There's this Rivian R2 that I think would be a potential Model Y killer, especially since they have access to the supercharger network. And I was trying to go see one today, but the line was just out the door. So every day I do feel like more and more that this Rivian R2 will be a cool vehicle for sure. But what you're looking on the screen right now is sales data from last year to this year, Q1 and Q2 for Tesla, and they're down 38,000 units, or about 11%. So I do feel like since inventory is increasing and increasing, we're going to see more incentives very, very soon in Q4. Sam, sedans are not a family car and should be priced under 20 to 30K to make sense for single people to have true mass adoption. Yeah, I mean, that's why there's a lot of people looking to get used Tesla Model 3s because they're well below the price threshold of 25,000. Patrick, what about a supercharging subscription service? That's an interesting idea, and I don't know if they could sell that and it would make any sort of sense, but because I feel like a lot of people already use it and they pull in a lot of revenue from the superchargers already. So they don't really need to make it a deal at all. It's Junior. Thanks for coming in. Should I buy now or wait for the Model 3 performance? I'm hoping to get Pearl White and tax incentive plus 1.99% interest. Well, it seems like the only way to do that is to get full self-driving and pay $8,000 at the moment. But I do feel like Tesla's going to drop the price of the Model 3 performance in Q4. It's like I'm 99.9% sure they're going to do that. Steve, why very little 2022 Model Y used? Yeah, Tesla, because 2022 qualifies for the tax credit, and so that's why they're probably selling them. But actually, no, it has to be under $25,000. So I'm not sure why there's that little of many. I mean, certainly try Cars.com, Auto Trader, and all those other ones. Roll Tide, thanks for coming in. Considering a Model S or Model X, any good deals incoming? At the moment, just that $5,000 bundle, I think it's an okay deal. It's not a great deal, but I do feel like there's going to be an interest rate deal coming to Model S and Model X soon. In this next topic, you might have heard of the Lucid Gravity, a Model X killer, I would say. And now there's some new images of it that it's going to have 2 charging ports. A little bit of an interesting move, and maybe is this going to be what a lot of companies are going to be doing? Let's take a look at it quickly. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla deal hacking, so definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. I'm kind of excited for this car, this Lucid Gravity vehicle. I think it looks great. I like bigger cars with a lot more space, and it kind of looks like a minivan, but at the same time, it looks pretty usable. And I recently was able to jump into a Lucid vehicle and drive it. I know I've been in a lot of them, but I've never driven one. And actually, I gotta say, the interior of Lucid vehicles, they're pretty good. They actually are luxury in comparison to some other vehicles. But now we've got a picture of the Lucid Gravity. It seems like it's going to be coming out very soon. And we've got one picture by Zach that shows that it actually has a front charge port on the left side and a rear charge port on the left side as well. Lucid said this is going to be one with NACS for superchargers and one with CCS, which is the older charging network. So pretty interesting to see that they're going to be going with 2 charging ports on their Lucid Gravity. So I'm pretty excited to see if this vehicle actually comes out under $80,000 as promised and how it will actually do on the market. But let us know, would this be a vehicle that you would try and take a look at, especially because Lucid does seem to do some good deals on their Lucid sedan vehicles at the moment with lease payments as low as $500 a month. But we're going to jump into the next topic. Any feedback on Teslas on Carvana Model Y? Actually, I've never known anybody that's bought a vehicle off of Carvana, so that's a tough one. Rajesh, how does trading work at Tesla? I want to replace my 2008 CRV with a Model Y. Shall I wait until Q4? Yes, you should wait till Q4, and I wouldn't trade in your 2008 CRV into Tesla. I would sell that vehicle on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, Cars.com, because that seems to be a vehicle that is around that $10,000 price mark that sells a lot easy and quickly to someone that's just going to come to give you cash once you put it out there. So I would say just do that and find a quick deal on that. In this next topic, there's a new wide body kit that makes the Model 3 look absolutely insane. Let's take a look at it. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla deal hacking, so definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. Shout out to Mechanica, sorry if I messed it up, Dictionary Hill. Liberty Walk has released a body kit for the Tesla Model 3. This seems to be like a Model 3 long range, white one, maybe not a performance, but you could see how they could probably put this on a performance and it could look absolutely insane. It makes it look super aggressive, super, of course, wide, and they've also lowered it on some crazy rims at the bottom of it. But really cool to see, and I would love to see one of these in person in real life once they actually roll out there. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let us know what your thoughts on it. Do you like it or do you dislike it? And would you do something like this to your brand new Tesla Model 3 performance or anything like that? But we're going to jump into the live stream comments. But if you're just joining in, welcome. We've got some sales data. Shout out to Troy Teslike for putting this together. But we can see year over year, Q1 and Q2, 2023 versus 2024, Tesla is down in sales about 11% or 38,000 units. And what's interesting to see is, of course, this year we've got Cybertruck layered in. And so they didn't have Cybertruck in 2023. So the deals are only going to get better, especially if you take a look at inventory. Inventory keeps going up on the up and up. So certainly it is going to get better. Furcone, have you ever sold your Tesla for a loss? So Model 3, the first one, 2019, I broke even for the most part. Model Y, I made some profit, about $6,000. The Model S, I made a little bit more profit at about like $12,000 to $13,000. And then the Model X that we're currently in, we're definitely underwater because we bought it for quite the penny in 2022. And so we're going to be in that one for a little bit. And you can just imagine what we paid for it. We bought it slightly new, like 150 miles on it. And of course, the market now for those is really in the dumps. Like 55K is probably the wholesale price for it. So yes, I'm probably going to lose. We're probably going to break even on this last Tesla, but it's okay, right? I put myself in these situations because we always want the latest and greatest and newest thing. It's Junior. Thanks for the feedback. And you think they'll extend 1.99 into Q4? I think so. Yeah. I mean, if you're really worried, then you could try and no, I think it's going to be, I think you'll be fine. Like, yes, there's a risk, but I really feel like, I mean, just taking a look at inventory charts that keep going higher and higher, and Q4 historically through the past couple of years has always been the best time to buy a Tesla. I really feel like they're going to do something to keep that interest rate or lower prices or something so that it makes sense for that. Arnez, sales are down because the deals aren't good enough. Exactly. And so deals are only going to get better as we get into the end of the year. Stay solely, FYI, look at your employer also for Tesla discounts. Oh, that's an interesting one. What employer have you seen that does Tesla discounts? That'd be interesting. Omi, thanks for coming in. Do you suggest waiting for Q4 or getting something off Favorite Marketplace using Key Savvy? I mean, if you qualify for the used tax credit for the $4,000 one, then I would say if you could find a deal for under $25,000, that's your best bet. So you're not going to be losing a ton of money when you go to sell it in like 3 to 5 years. I mean, if I needed a vehicle and I didn't want, like, of course, the latest and greatest type of thing, I would definitely be looking at one of these used Teslas that are from Hertz. Of course, you know, your experience is definitely going to vary. And so certainly I'll be looking at one of these because you can, like this one right here, 2021. I mean, it's got an 89 score, so maybe it's not the best, but 2023 for $23,000 for 50,000 miles, there's plenty of battery warranty and powertrain warranty on this one. So I would probably try and pick my spots and see which one of these. Okay, that's not a Tesla picture. Which one of these might be in a good condition? And of course, go to actually see it in person, confirm that it's there before trying to actually make the trip to wherever it is, and then inspect it in person with a fine tooth comb. And of course, 2022 is the oldest or the most newest vehicle that you can get with a tax credit. But you know what happens next year after the quarter ends or after the new year? 2023s then become available for the $4,000 tax credit. But that's what I would do if I didn't want like the latest and greatest and I just wanted a nice, reliable cheaper vehicle that I can drive to get my feet wet into a Tesla, and if I didn't want to lose too much money. Because buying new, you will lose money if you try and sell it and get out of it at the end of the day with that. So certainly that's probably your best bet if you don't want to lose too much money, or even like leasing. Because if you do $500 a month lease, 36 months, $18,000 give or take, you can see where the math can go with that. And this next topic, the Uber CEO, or Uber former CEO, is questioning the Tesla Robotaxi. He's got some fears about it. Well, actually, no, current Uber CEO is questioning the Uber Robotaxi. Let's take a look at it. But if you're just joining in, my name is Des. I love talking about Tesla deal hacking, so definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And this makes a lot of sense about all the different things that the Uber CEO, Dara, is questioning about the Robotaxi plan, or at least doubts in the Tesla's ability to successfully implement. And this kind of reminds me of like Turo systems, where you could rent out your vehicle on Turo to strangers to get into it. And it's kind of like that same effect. We were definitely Turoing our Tesla vehicles, making decent money, at least paying some of the payment, if not the whole payment. And then one of our vehicles kind of went MIA. Well, we could see it the whole time, but the owner, or not the owner, the person renting it went MIA and did not return the vehicle in time, where I had to go repo the vehicle in a interesting area of Los Angeles. So certainly it's, great when everything works fine and there's no issues, but one-offs, or 1 out of 100 trips that I've done, there's certainly going to be something that could potentially happen. But here's what's going on. So Dara questions whether Tesla owners would be willing to let strangers ride in the car, which makes sense, especially if it's an expensive car, like a $40,000, $50,000, $100,000 vehicle. If it's like a $20,000 to $25,000 vehicle, sure, why not? But even then, that's expensive to some people, or to most people. He suggests Elon must be underestimating the challenges of customer service in a ride-hailing business. Yeah, certainly, because people could trash the vehicle, and then you would have to open cases with it, and you have to get cleaning. It can go on and on. Despite skepticism, Dara expresses openness to collaborating with Tesla on autonomous vehicle initiatives, and Uber adjusts its workforce dynamically to meet peak demand, contrasting with Tesla's proposed static fleet model. So it could be cool, but we're already seeing issues with Waymo. I don't know if you've seen this thing with Waymo, and how there was a bunch of owners or people living in San Francisco. People living in San Francisco that were woken up at 4 a.m. because a bunch of Waymo vehicles were trying to park themselves and just honking throughout the parking experience. So certainly, maybe this might not be the best experience if all the vehicles are AI driving around and trying to figure out where to go. But of course, maybe it will take time with the future of all this to get there. But let us know, would you, if you were able to buy a $20,000 to $25,000 Tesla, would you be willing to take the risk of letting your vehicle go out, pick up strangers, drop them off, and make a few bucks on the side of it? But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it. We're going to jump into the live stream comments. I'm in no rush. You want the best deal I can get? Yeah, so then Q4 for sure. IT, do you feel the Model 3 and Y will get a 3-year $5,000 bundle? I think so, yeah. We could see that. They're probably testing it at the moment with the Model S and Model X, and then they'll figure it out afterwards. Arneds thought the Hertz cars are cheap. They have been abused, and I don't think it's worth it, though. Certainly all Teslas, after you drive them, they're going to get beat up. And so, of course, that's why I say if you're going to be looking at a Hertz Tesla, go inspect it in person, and then before actually making the final decision. Brooke, do I have to order first before confirming 1.99? Yes, you unfortunately do, before you can do the application or anything like that. Yeah, there used to be a pre-qualify option, and then they removed it. Yeah, it is kind of weird that they removed it and they don't know. Maybe I'll put the live chat here. It looks a little bit easier to read, right? Chosy, what's the general consensus for QCS for the 24 Model 3s? What do you mean by QCS? What do you mean exactly by that? But, oh, sorry. Ghost, thanks for coming in. Tati was here. Thanks for coming in. And Brooke, thank you for dropping by. Paul, it took I took a test drive today in the refresh Model 3. I think because of the stocks and ease in getting in and out, I may go with the Y instead. Yeah, I mean, that's a valid point for sure. Model Y sits a little bit higher, so it is easier to kind of jump in and out. And the stocks, I mean, I understand it for sure, but once you get into a vehicle without stocks and actually drive it for an extended period of time, I don't care at all about stocks. And it's just a lot more easier to go like hit the button on the steering wheel instead of going like this and like toggling it up and down. And so certainly you do get used to it. AB, do I need to charge a Tesla every night? Depends. If you drive 200 miles every single day, then I would say yes. Chozy, quality control. Good one. So what's the general consensus for quality control in the 2024 Model 3s? I haven't heard anything except for that oil leak on the performances only in the back side of the rear like axle area. That's the only thing I've heard about for that. But certainly other ones, I haven't seen any issues on the like regular long range all-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive vehicles. But thanks for jumping in, everybody. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for hitting the like button in the comments and everything. And I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.